Well, good afternoon, folks. This is Mark Cavalier with the Southwest Coalition for Life coming to you short notice with a very urgent update. Thank you guys for jumping on such short notice. But as most of you have probably heard, today is the day that the heartbeat bill in Texas that passed earlier this year within the state legislature of Texas has now become the heartbeat law. And what that does is within the state of Texas, it now is illegal to do abortions on any baby with a detectable heartbeat, which the consensus has been under those definitions around 6 weeks. And what the bill does is it's the reason why it actually has gone as far as it has and is now law is unlike other laws, this isn't something enforced by the state, but it allows people it's like a civil law where it allows individuals to sue if somebody is in violation of this. So as of today, it is illegal in the state of Texas, the first state to pass a heartbeat law. This is something to celebrate. This is a huge step in the right direction towards ensuring legal protections for all people at all stages of life, from conception to natural death. So if you have any questions or comments, please, this is a live event, so please feel free, whatever platform you're watching on, to drop those in the comments, and we'd be happy to see if we can get to some of those. But this is an interesting thing because our focus is in the borderland region of West Texas and southern New Mexico, and so in El Paso, this is fantastic news. But at the same time, the El Paso metro area, as we know, flows over the state line into New Mexico. And we've already been dealing with these types of dynamics, and now these dynamics are just becoming a little more interesting. What we saw back in March of 2020, when Governor Abbott in Texas shut down all abortion facilities in kind of an emergency response due to COVID for 1 month, during those 30 days, what we saw was women driving from 8 hours, from 12 hours, from all across the state of Texas to Santa Teresa, New Mexico. And we saw that. And so we've been anticipating that. And already we know that that's happening. We've seen an increase in the abortion, the women coming for abortions in Santa Teresa. We've seen we know for a fact that at least one abortion facility in San Antonio, Texas, has been referring specifically to Santa Teresa, New Mexico, 8 hours away, as the next nearest place to get an abortion. And so, and the big update too is that as of last week, we know that the Santa Teresa abortionist Franz Theard is now expanding his days and his hours to be prepared for this, to accommodate more abortions. And he's seeing dollar signs. This is a big opportunity for him to make more money off of this issue. So again, overall, it's a great thing for Texas, but because of where we live, we have to deal with now what this means for us in our region. Okay, and we're very concerned about this, especially when it comes to the safety of all of these women now who are going to be traveling so far to New Mexico. And I want to bring on at this point a good friend of ours who's been essential over the past year and a half for our efforts in Santa Teresa, who is our attorney, Mike Seibel with Abortion on Trial. Mike, how are you doing?
I am tired and frazzled today. It's been a real busy day out here, preparing for the worst.
It has been. Thanks for joining us on the last minute. But you're in New Mexico. You see at the Albuquerque centers. This is something I saw something that in 2020 last year there were even without the heartbeat law there were still 1,000 women or so.
Roughly about 1,000 women coming from Texas and Oklahoma in 2020 for abortions is what the statistics that I've seen.
To New Mexico, and that's all the facilities in the state of New Mexico.
That's all the facilities in the state of New Mexico. So that includes UNM, Curtis Boyd, Santa Teresa, Brenda Pareda up in Taos, and Ramit Singh in Taos, and Brenda Pareda in Los Alamos.
Right. Okay. And now with this heartbeat law in effect, again, I think it's a good model. It's a good test to something. There's a lot of good to come from this. That I've seen estimates are as many as 100 to 150 lives per day within the state of Texas may be saved. Which is 80 to 90% of abortions in Texas were past that 6-week mark, which means if they're not taking place, that's 100 to 150 lives being saved because of this. Now the question is, how many of those are going to be traveling 8, 12, 16 hours to New Mexico, for abortions, and what can we do about that?
Well, that's a compound question, and I think it's going to take a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there were 55,000 abortions in Texas in 2019 or 18 from the Goodmacher study that I looked at. If 80 to 90% of those are going to be outlawed, there's going to be 40,000 women or so, 40 to 50,000 women seeking abortion care elsewhere. I mean, they're not all going to come to New Mexico. They're going to go to Baton Rouge, where they have a place there, Mississippi. They won't go to Arkansas. But they're going to go to a different state with a large amount coming here to New Mexico. And this is really concerning. And I'll tell you, I review the studies all the time. Just when in 2016, when HB2 passed Texas's House, we saw a 787% increase in the amount of women traveling from Texas.
Wow.
That was documented by the University of New Mexico in a study called Traveling for Rights. That number is going to increase exponentially with this bill.
Wow.
I mean, the HB2 really focused on late-term D&E abortions. This is almost every abortion. Now, we only have 5 clinics. These clinics are going to be strained.
In New Mexico.
Yeah. Possibly 6. We're still researching another one. But these clinics are going to be strained. And these clinics, many of them, like Franz Theard and Curtis Boyd, are already involved in numerous injuries between those two. So you're going to take an ill-equipped abortion industry and jam as many women as you can through New Mexico. You've got a recipe for disaster. This is a health crisis.
Right.
You know, with the Delta variant surging in this situation, are we going to see a repeat of what happened down in November when Franz Theard and his staff contracted COVID and I believe spread COVID all over the state of New Mexico? So we've got a major crisis going on, major health crisis going into New Mexico right now, both at Santa Teresa and up in the Albuquerque area.
That's a good. I hadn't even thought about the health crisis with all these new variants and concerns about that. But I mean, last year we saw the staff catch it, and unfortunately, even led to the head nurse there on staff passing away from COVID after not closing and following all the health recommendations that other businesses were subjected to. Now, you've raised some points, and I've been saying, especially knowing that Santa Teresa in particular is the between San Antonio to Albuquerque is kind of that first stop for a lot of Texas, especially central West Texas. And essentially all of New Mexico though is in a position to you said it. I've been repeating the term, but kind of become the back alley abortion clinic for the whole state of Texas. And that's not like just some exaggeration because of you brought up the safety concerns, and I didn't even realize of all the exactly 1 year ago today. I have the video that I want to show real quick to remind people what happened 1 year ago today. I'm going to pull that up and then we can comment on that.
Baby, who stole your baby?
I had a surgical abortion, but it didn't work, and I'm in so much pain. They won't give me no answers, and then they call the cops. No, I got no answers.
Okay, what did we just see? What was this case, Mike?
So it's great. We just re-released that today on Abortion on Trial. We released it on TikTok as well. This was a Jane Doe who was arrested after 2 botched abortions down in Santa Teresa at Franz Theard's clinic. First, a chemical botched abortion that didn't take, and then on top of it, a surgical abortion. I don't know how that didn't happen. You would think that you could get the baby out through a surgical abortion, but they didn't. And Jane Doe gave birth to the baby, went into the clinic extremely angry, which I don't blame her for at all.
Right.
They wouldn't give her baby back. They wouldn't give her medical records, and they had her arrested for disturbing the peace. The good news is that case is dismissed. We got that one dismissed way back in March, and I think that that is a very big victory for us. And we are also going to go after the medical malpractice side of things on that case for Jane Doe. So, but with this new heartbeat bill and everything that's happening up here in Albuquerque, we've been a little delayed. But I mean, prepare for more news because we're going forward on that case.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, this is worth, praise God again that this is so good in Texas, but the work is just changing and evolving as we make these little victories. And right now we're needing to focus because this is, we had this case we just saw. This is the same facility where, there was a security guard harassing women. There was an assault on the interns out there. We've had workers quit. Is this the standard of care now that, we're going to be okay with people traveling from all over Texas to New Mexico? And so we're already, just like you, we've been on the phone all day with attorneys and, strategizing and preparing for this and continuing to update as we go. But we are needing action here in Santa Teresa to make sure that in spite of all of this, in spite of this influx, that we are there to help women and that they close. And
that is one case. So, what we go by in the medical malpractice attorney standards is for every one case that is reported, 7 are not.
Wow.
And I would extrapolate that to abortion and say 5 times the amount of abortion malpractice is not being reported. Because women are much more reluctant to go after their doctor in an abortion situation because of the stigma and possibly the shame. But once we have one of these cases, we seem to get more and more and more of these cases. I mean, that video alone has sparked at least 25 inquiries to abortion on trial.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. So, well, I know you've got tons of calls and things going on today. Are there any other thoughts or anything before I close people out with some actions they can take?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is, abortion is unsafe. I don't care what you say. In my opinion, it's not a medical procedure. People need to be warned that it's not safe. And we need to actually get out, get that message out. And we need more people at the clinics. We need more people taking action. We need more people getting involved. What's about to happen to New Mexico is a deluge of people. And we're going to see a lot of women who go through abortions who regret them 2, 3 months, 5 years, a lifetime afterwards. And we need to stop that regret before it happens. And if it does happen, we need to get them legal help. And even if they're referred from Texas, we need to get them legal help as quickly as possible.
Amen. Mike, thank you so much. You've always been there to help us. And this last year, I don't know what we would have done without your support. And continuing to throw new challenges at us, but we're ready for it. So
that sounds great. We're up and running up here. I'm going to go back to dealing with our injuries up here. We have, just in the last 5 years, we've documented 18 major injuries at Curtis Boyd's clinic. So, and I think there's even more out there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be praying, and thank you, Mike. God bless.
God bless you. Keep up the good work.
All right. So, folks, you just heard, this is the update and what it means. Again, I don't want it to detract from what we should be celebrating. This is fantastic for the state of Texas, but there are, the implications as we continue to make these baby steps towards legal protections for all persons from conception and natural death. These are some of the challenges that we're facing, such as now seeing this influx of women coming to New Mexico, Santa Teresa specifically, in our case, for more abortions, and being ready for that. God has been preparing a lot. I think it's really been laying a foundation even before we realized, with our mobile units, with multiple pregnancy centers coming together to work together to unite, more support, more 40 Days for Life volunteers. But now we need your help, your support more than ever before. And so I would ask all of you right now, if God is tugging on your heart to do something about this, to make sure that this law that just passed continues to be, we don't just say, kind of pat ourselves on the back and think, okay, well, that's it. No, now we need to take this tool that's been given with us, but continue to progress towards the next steps. And so you can go to southwest.life/heartbeat, and there's a form there that's going to give you an opportunity to sign up to say how you feel called to help. Especially right now, coming up soon, September 22nd is our next 40 Days for Life campaign, where everybody volunteers to come out for 1 hour of prayer, taking shifts to create an unbroken chain of prayer from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we need need prayer at this location more than ever before. That changes hearts and minds. We have so many women who stopped and said they were considering an abortion, and they saw someone out on their knees praying, and they knew that was their sign from God, and they didn't go through it. So we need you to sign up for 40 Days for Life, especially in Santa Teresa. We're going to be prioritizing that location, even over the Planned Parenthood in El Paso, which is still open but is not performing abortions at the moment. They are referring to Santa Teresa for that, but we want to make sure we prioritize Santa Teresa. We need prayer volunteers. We could, if you have a circle of influence and can recruit other volunteers, 24 people or so, to fill an entire day. If you have a church or a group, you could be a day captain and help fill an entire day with prayer, and which is a huge blessing. Church ambassadors, if you feel called to get your church more involved, we can help equip you with that. Give us, fill out the form, let us know, and we'll give you the tools to help do that. We've got a Fishers of Men role, which is just helping us to make phone calls and send emails and do all of that stuff to get our volunteers committed. And also, one of the biggest needs we need right now, and I really think it's some kind of spiritual attack, because we suddenly have had a decrease in the number of our staffed interns, the young adults that we hired to be out, to have a full-time presence out on the sidewalks. And we've just lost a few with the seasons changing in the school semesters, and we are short-staffed. And of all times, we need more people out more frequently. And so if you know anybody who is interested in this staff part-time paid position, please go to southwest.life, our website, learn more about it, and you can let us know if you're interested in learning more and applying for that position. If you have any talents that you'd like to, you feel called to share, and let us know. And then, of course, right now with the increasing need with our medical staff and the services, if you are not already, have not made any kind of donation or financial support as a member of the coalition, that is right now always a big need as well. So that being said, folks, I just want to thank you for jumping on short notice to kind of this emergency urgent update, getting some traction and some updates on what this is doing. Good for Texas, but this is, again, we're very concerned about the increase we're going to be seeing in Santa Teresa. Our obligation to do something about that, and for just the safety of women in general. We have a statement up on our website, southwest.life, southwest.life, and I would encourage you to share and tell people to go to that. And again, prayer really is the foundation that we really need and rely on right now. Because of these challenges over the past week, I'll tell you what, we have been having just an onslaught of spiritual warfare and challenges that we've never seen in the last 4 years. Some of those are going to be some big announcements that we're going to be coming to you with here in the coming weeks as we get more guidance and legal guidance and support. So we don't want to preemptively jump too much into that, but please pray for our outreach, because that we are facing more challenges than ever before to effectively reach out and reach those women who feel like they have no other option than abortion. But we are more committed now than we ever have been before to reaching those women, giving them the free ultrasounds that we now can provide, the free medical support, the free community resources, which includes adoption and parenting support, years after the baby is born even. And there's a lot of needs that God has really been putting on our hearts. So I want to thank all of you. Andy, you're commenting that you're going to be back on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Thank you, Andy, one of our greatest prayer volunteers, who is always committed to being out there. Please, all of you, sign up for at least an hour to pray, like Andy, and that is what's going to make a difference, because we know that through God, all things are possible. So thank you again for joining this urgent update. Please take this video, share it, make sure everyone is aware that this is something to celebrate, but also now that the challenges that we've got to rise to the occasion. And I know that together as a coalition that we have been put here and called for such a time as this. So God bless you. Thank you for all your prayers and your support.